Yeah, if you want us to move the tables around, we can totally do that.
As a warm-up?
As a warm-up, yeah, sure. Icebreaker.
Icebreaker, turn all of the tables into a U. We'll walk on the edge of the room using the most efficient pathing.
Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to, we could probably just rotate each one of these down. Turn it.
I think it'll be fine, well, let's see.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, hello everyone. Come on in. Okay. Computer, cloud computing club, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
How many are here? How many here are freshmen? Okay, good. Yay. How many here are seniors? Oh wow, good luck. Okay. Let's just start. Let's start by introducing myself. I'm Edith Tal-Kohen. I'm a program manager at IBM in the cloud. I've been doing this for a while now. I have all kind of 3 letters, acronyms, da-da-da. I'm local here. I have 2 kids in college, and I love this weather. This past couple of weeks were glorious. I love the outdoors and hiking and all that. And I also play volleyball. So that's me. I've been teaching here a couple of years, 4 years, mainly seniors at the capstone project. Oh, the soundtrack for my. So I teach at the capstone, kind of give tools or toolkits, a workshop that I do to help people kind of manage their projects, know how to estimate when the boss tells them to estimate their work, know what it means when people say agile. I think that's something that we see in the field as new hires coming in. This is something that we're missing. Beyond the technical skills that you'll learn here, or the programming, maybe a little more than that, but just the how to do stuff, not just doing it, but how to interact with your team. What does all those acronyms mean, stuff like that. So obviously the stuff that you learn on the job, but there's some stuff that I think it's important for you to know ahead of time, and would also give you an edge, hint for the seniors there, when you go out to the market to have that under your belt. So I'm trying not to get too serious about it today, but we're gonna give you an idea of what agile is. Many companies are using it now, not just software. I think it's a cool skill to have also in your personal life, and we'll touch on that later. But let's just, I wanted to give you a quick review. I know that people are interested in the IBM Cloud, which I came from, and what we do. So just to show you where I am in this whole big thing, I work at the, let me show you, let's dive right in. So if you know a little bit about cloud computing, there are different levels of service. So back before there were any clouds, there was big servers in a room on premise, and basically every company that wanted to create a database or manage their own computing farms had to do it themselves. So this is on premise, managed by everybody. Everybody's doing managed by the customer. Customer's doing everything, starting from the networking cables and the actual hardware all the way down to up to the applications. Then came the cloud and offered them some options. So the first option is IaaS, infrastructure as a service, where the cloud computing companies, if it's IBM Cloud, but also Google and Azure and many others, we offer you the basic. We offer you the foundation, the actual farms, the actual servers, and also the virtualization on top of them. And then the companies, our customers, can create their own middleware and applications on top of it, but they don't have to worry about cooling systems and cabling and stuff like that, right? So that can save them some time, but still give them a lot of control. The next level of service is platform as a service. So customers, companies, still have all this basic foundations of the infrastructure that we manage for them. We also take their headache off of managing the middleware, everything in between, the platform that they're working on. right? So all they have to do is put on top of it their data and the application. So they have like their development tool, development environment, all that is all set up for them. They just have to build on top of them. Again, it gives them more freedom, but here we're starting to see some risk of letting other companies manage your middleware, right? And then there's another layer which all of us as end users are more familiar with, which is the software as a service. So everything, like the thin client, then we reach a software that's already on the client, on the cloud. We don't have to install it. All the websites, applications, stuff like that. That would be a SaaS. Again, you submit all your infrastructure and your data to the cloud. So here comes more security and stuff like that. So those are the different layers. I'm a program manager in the IaaS, and I'm actually managing all the VMware projects that IBM has on the cloud. So we're partnering with VMware, which are now Broadcom, if anybody keeping track. But so that I manage about 30 projects, so the VMware program in the IBM IaaS. So if anybody has questions specifically on IBM, you know where I am right now, we can ask that at the end. All right, forget about me. Let's do some project management. First of all, just a quick definition of what project is. Project is something that has a start and an end. It's a temporary endeavor. Okay, project is not something that is going on all the time. It's not maintenance, it's not operation. It's doing an undergrad degree. It has a start and hopefully an end. Okay, and hopefully in 4 years. And unlike other endeavors, project is something that's very definite, okay? You have a goal to reach, it's not like an ongoing. So, home improvement project can very quickly turn into operation and not a project, right? It's an ongoing thing. You want to make sure it's closed and get a project. So, based on that, the project management is using the knowledge, skills, and tools to deliver something of value. Basically, it's the art of making a plan and executing it. Okay? Again, it's start and end, so you just want to plan how to do it. There's an end to your plan, end to your project. And the trick with project management, specifically with engineers and technical people, every time they hear project management, like, oh, more meeting, documentation, right? So the trick with project management is maintain that balance. Okay, we want the process to work for the people, not the people to work for the process, right? So that's always something that, at least me, myself as a project manager, trying to keep an eye on to make sure that we don't adding too much overhead that stops the team, but rather give them like the wheels to continue going faster. All right, that was out of the way. Now we know what that is. There are different types of project management methodologies. There's a traditional one that started back in the old ages. It started in construction companies, so it was very sequential, right? So you build a house, you first have to do the foundation, then the wall. You can't mix them up, you can't do it in parallel, very structured. And then came agile around the 1990s, which we're going to talk about today, which is a little bit different than waterfall and traditional. But there's always a mix of things, right? So you can do a hybrid between waterfall and agile. And in general, when I'm going to say agile, I don't mean, you either do agile or you don't do agile. It's a scale, so you can do agile a little bit or mix with this. So different flavors of agile. So there's no, something written that you have to check and do to, the colleagues of doing agile. Every company you're going to work with, do it agile a little different, okay? And that's all good, right? Because we're working for the project, the process work for the project, not the other way around. All right, so the whole idea of agile is an iterative approach. Did we get to that here? Let's see. Yes. So there's high-level differences between the two methodologies, right? So let's start with the waterfalls. A waterfall methodology, it's phased, sequential, follow plan. You plan 4 times so you can cut once, right? So you do all the planning ahead before you even start. And then when you finish it, that's when you show it to the customers. Yes, your house is ready, sir, okay? teams are very structured, functional team. There's the team that do the wall, there's the team that do the roof. They don't mingle, they have different skills, okay? Very standard, but very easy, clear to see, right? So there are definitely benefits to this. And then in Agile, on the other hand, it allows a progressive and elaboration of the plan. So you plan now for the first part that you know. Especially in this world, who knows what's going to happen in 3 months, 4 years, you know? So let's plan on what we know right now, and then do another planning when we get closer to the next phase and plan then, okay? This is a little hard for executive, for example, or leadership to swallow, because that means that you're not really sure what you're going to do by the end of the project, how much money you're going to spend, right? That's what they care about. So Agile is a little tricky in that way, but it's proven to be a lot more successful and to bring better result at the end, which offset that. It's an iterative and incremental approach. Like I said, there's phases, there are continuous deliverables. It produces outcomes in regular intervals. So if you build a house, you can still do it kind of agile by showing the customers before you finish, okay, so this is what it's going to look like, or show them a model, a virtual model, and get their input before you build it all up, and they say, oh, I didn't think there's a wall here, and then you have to take off the wall and build again. That phase approach, that regular intervals help the customers know better what he's getting, and help you as the builder to know better how to make it what the customer wants. And in Agile, there's also cross-functional teams. So I think it's more fun to work in an Agile team because it doesn't mean you get stuck to do all the time the same thing. You can mix it up. It's a small team that shares the knowledge between each other. So if you want to do QA one day, then you can figure it out. You can still, in the team, there's a lot of visibility within the team, so the switch is a lot easier, okay, less structured. Again, this is not black and white. There's some differences, some different things that you can mix and match here, but in general, that's the idea. You get the difference between Agile and Waterfall. Questions so far? Wow, I just flew through that.
Very quick.
Should I talk slower? Okay. Alright, so how do you know which methodology to choose? So it highly depends on the industry. I already mentioned that Agile is something that's been used a lot in software, but now being used in many, many other markets. So it depends basically on what the company and your environment is doing. Though it doesn't mean that if the whole company is waterfall, then you have to act waterfall. IBM is mainly waterfallish because it's been around for over 100 years. It comes with the territory. But there are many teams within IBM that work Agile. So that could be an option. Project specifics or goal or objective. If the project is very specific, for example, if you have a government project, they have a lot of regulation, a lot of very formalized checkpoints in between. Sometimes it would require you to do all the planning ahead and to work in a very structured way, kind of like waterfall. So it depends what type of, if you have very specific goals, then you don't have to do the sequential approach and phased approach, just go with a waterfall, for example. Complex projects can go either way. Projects that are very complex are usually waterfall, just because if there are intersection with other teams, you can tell them exactly when they have to come in. If you have to coordinate that with external dependencies, it's easier to do with waterfall. But on the other hand, if it's very complex, you don't want to fail and realize at the end, right? You want to fail early, fail fast. So Agile could be a benefit there too. And the environment you're working in, I think I mentioned that in terms of any regulatory environment would mostly go with waterfall. Software would likely have Agile, stuff like that. So highly recommend to just try something, see if it works, and then work with it, change it as it goes. Yeah, methodologies. Oh, this again, okay. I'm gonna fly through this because I already said that. In waterfall, requirements are clear and settled. In Agile, they're uncertain. In waterfall, customers prefer to set requirements and see results. I mean, it also depends on the customer, right? If they don't want to be involved, then you're just gonna run with it in waterfall. Because in agile, customers need to be involved in the process from the beginning, not just the requirement, but throughout as well. In waterfall, quality over speed. In agile, rapid changing market, need to be agile and speedy. In waterfall, if management demands metrics and documentation and more rigid leadership. In agile management, work with software and not artifacts. Waterfall, if there are many dependencies outside, we talked about it, they need to be prepared to join when they need to, so waterfall would be better choice. And team members, specifically in waterfall, knows specifically their roles, and in agile, know a little bit about everything, or maybe a lot about everything. All right, let's start playing, okay? Isn't that what we're here for? Okay, let's see. How many teams I have, Luke? 5. We can do up to 5. Okay. Let's do it this way. Each row is going to be a team. Try to fill up the rows in a way that you're going to be even teams.
I think we have 16 people, so we should be able to get four person.
4 and 4, is that what you have?
Yeah, that should work.
Okay, so find a group of 4. If you're less than 4, you're going to be in disadvantage. So,
All right.
just a hint, 4
Everyone's gotta
groups
get
of
up.
4.
We gotta.
So you're 4.
Alright, sure, why not this row? Alright, this whole, or this row.
Just sit right now. I'm going to walk
fine.
over the rules and then you can
Sorry,
move
sit
on.
back down.
But do you have, I want to see that there are 4. So I see here 4. You're with them, right?
Yeah, I'm with those
Okay, where you guys have 4? You missing one? Somebody from the back, help?
Alright, so you 3, okay, you 3 come over here. So we need one for this row, one for this row, and then.
We can see Joey.
It's like my volleyball team. If I tell them to go into couples, everybody freak out. Like, whoa, okay. No, middle schoolers, it's not. So we have 4 there, 4 there. So you at the end, sir?
No, I'm not.
You're not playing? So you can help them?
I guess I'll be here.
Okay, and you playing? Of course you
I
are.
don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, nobody knows what they're doing. Actually, let's give you. Nobody knows what they're doing, okay? Everybody's just figuring it out. You think that we know what we're doing? Nobody knows what. Okay, what's your name?
Ben.
Ben, you're here.
Okay.
Now you know what you're doing.
Okay.
Did I know that 2 seconds ago? I did not. So here we
This is
go.
my idea of one, the thing last time I liked it.
Okay, since you're standing, you're gonna help me with the
I mean, you can
papers.
still do it. You just.
At the top of each table, put a big stack of paper like that.
Alright.
Yeah.
Use
Here we
this
go.
first. Use this first.
Yeah.
Let's try.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
We may need,
And that, we can use all that too.
Oh, that's okay. I
okay,
love it.
we'll use, okay,
We'll
we'll
use
throw
as
some
much as we can.
Before we have to
Yes.
practice.
Well, I only wanted to do that, but yeah, that's really good. We're also gonna make some colorful airplanes.
So pass down the stack to this table. This table.
Alright, if you're not playing, you're gonna help me. Uh-huh. Sit here. What's your name?
Ernest.
Ernest. Sit down. I'll tell you what. Do you have a group?
So my idea actually one of the big ass tests, so I don't want to give other people a chance.
Well, then give my gift. Play along with them. So you have a group?
Paper.
They have 5 now. Right?
Okay.
Who did I put? Oh, you. I put. Yeah. Alright. This was the easy part. Alright, I'm gonna go over the rules.
We're gonna have 2 more people come in a second. They're just.
Alright, so I trust you to divide them evenly between the groups.
Alright.
I think we'll have paper for.
Okay.
Us want to go with the 2 that are outside with.
Okay, that makes sense.
But,
Yeah.
if
Alvin,
not-
you go, then we'll,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
we'll form another team.
You don't wanna play? It's fun, don't you? Come on, join the team.
Come here, we need another
We'll still work, but we'll do the same thing.
You got it.
Alright, so each one of you is a team in a software company, and we're gonna start doing sprints. An agile sprint is a period of time where we do the work, but first we have to define what we're gonna do in this period of time. We don't just do it and then figure it out. We plan it, see what we want to do, and then we do it, and then we stop and like, okay, start again, okay? So here are the rules. Your goal, basically, your company is making paper airplanes, okay? So your team needs to produce paper airplanes that fly from the edge of the table to the end of the table. If they don't make it to the end of the table, the customer's not happy, we don't want, yeah, what are you doing here, right? So, you're making airplanes that fly across the tables. If they're not making it, they don't count. Pizza's here, be happy. Okay, so here are the rules though. So, we said we build up as many airplanes as you can in 3 minutes run. So, the length of our sprint is 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes to do this. Usually sprints in real life, anybody knows how long usually sprints are?
It's like 14 days.
It could be, usually it's a week or two.
9 days.
Yeah, or 9 days, oh, that's tough. Cause they do, oh, I know, because 1 day for planning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so usually sprints are not that short, but for this purpose, we're gonna do a 3 minute sprint. Obviously, the team that finishes the most airplane win that sprint. Plane should be built and tested in the 3 minute increments. So that means you need to finish testing them in those 3 minutes. We can't wait and then test after, okay? Sprint including testing. Only one sheet of paper for each airplane. And I've never seen two paper airplanes. Anyways, I don't know why that is there. Okay, so here are the tricky parts. Each team member can only do one fold at a time, right? So let's say we're a team of software engineers. One is doing a UI, one is doing backend. Okay, so this is like simulating this. One fold, you pass it over, the next one do the next fold. Only airplane papers that cross the finish line will be considered finished. We already said that's agreed that we're making airplanes that cross the line. We don't make airplanes that don't cross the line. One member in the team will be counter. So when we do the testing, one person has to be the counter because I can't be everywhere and count. No cheating. Each team should give a count of how many planes they're going to build in that round. Okay, so if you have 3 minutes round and you have to build it and test it, before we start the round, you set yourself some goals. Okay, I'm gonna show how we do that. And then, oh yeah, that's cheating. You cannot make it into a ball and throw it. Okay, I know that rules there for, you know the rules there for a reason. Okay, you guys ready?
All right.
I'll tell you how that goes.
4 people.
Oh, this is, if somebody says, but I don't know how to make an airplane. This is how to make an airplane.
All right.
So if we have 4 people in a team,
But in this group, so then there's
4 people in a team, each one does one fold and pass it over.
All right. So
Okay, only one fold. I'm gonna walk around and see the
all
cheese.
extra people who are not.
This is how we're gonna track it. Okay? So we're starting, right now I'm gonna give you 1 minute for planning to figure out how you're gonna do it. Actually, because it's the first sprint, let's give you 2 minutes. Yes, you're welcome. 2 minutes for planning. And then I'm gonna start the timer. Oh no, I'm gonna collect, plan and tell me how many airplanes you're gonna finish. I'm gonna collect the estimates and then start. 2 minutes starting now.
You wanna go back again? I think they need one more.
I think it's just as many as that would give
Yeah, 1 more minute for planning.
Okay, we just need to so before you take.
Yeah, that's not with this. Don't worry about if you don't get it right, because we have another sprint after this to correct this, okay? So no pressure. Remember, we're doing agile.
I actually don't know how many.
30 seconds left. Ready? I'm gonna ask how many you can make in 3 minutes. So get ready with that number for me.
I remember last time we were like, we're gonna make 10.
everyone's got like their own.
Okay, alright, so now, yeah, I see that there's some people here that work with other companies that did Agile, so they have some experience with Agile, which I like, that's fine, that's fair, that's how it goes in real life. Okay, it's gonna be team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You have 5 teams?
We have 5 teams.
Alright, team 1, how many are you gonna make?
We're gonna make 7.
Team 2?
6.
Team 3?
Was it 1?
Minus 1, what was that? Team 4? 5? And team 5? 5. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna start the timer and everybody's gonna have 3 minutes. Remember to count your airplanes.
From here to here?
Yes. Questions before I start the timer?
Wait, do you want to be me and you?
Yes.
Are we allowed to exceed our count?
I did not say no. Yes?
Can you go back to the?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the folding.
So how to build an airplane? But then I won't have
No,
the
we do it a
timer.
different way.
No, you don't have to do it this way.
Sorry.
This
Yeah,
is
but
just a
more
simple.
folds and then it won't. No folds.
Are we only allowed 4 folds or?
No, do it whatever you want. That was not in the rules. Okay, we're starting. You guys ready? You got this? Testing from one end to the other. Make sure you count them, and I'm going to see if you choose. So, starting the timer, and go. Oh, you didn't start. It's not the presentation mode. Okay, I'm doing it on my phone. Starting.
No, we passed.
Yeah.
You guys here.
Oh,
We should have.
Was that the second one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not connected.
Okay.
Oh, clutch. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, that counts. That's fine. That counts. No, no. No, we have to be from the end. That was
Yeah, we gotta make really that.
Hey, teams, we're halfway through our sprint. Yeah, he's not.
Yes,
That was good. That was good. Maybe the pilot is the problem. That's worse than.
Wait, yeah, that's fair.
2.
Wait, is this?
One fold at a time, yeah? Okay. No, that didn't count. Oh, you're not on the right page.
Oh.
That works. Okay, 1 minute left.
Did we get another? No, we don't have. That's what the comments over. Unless we go.
I know you do.
You gotta make one. Just checking. Ooh, oh, maybe you gotta. Espionage.
I think only one.
Alright, 15 seconds left. Test what you got. Oh, that was far. Oh, that counts.
Oh, that we need to engineer.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, 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 ding. Hold your player plays. That did not count, sir. That didn't count either. Okay.
That's actually nice.
But that was
Last call, please.
Take a breather. This is what we're doing at the end of the
Let's
sprint.
actually grab all the planes.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot. There's been.
Are we counting from here, or can we just grab them?
Don't count with this, just count when you throw them. Mixed up. Okay, so at the end of each sprint,
Oh, yeah, you put.
first of all, we provide the actual.
Hey guys,
Hey,
guys.
let's provide the actuals, and then you have a time for a debrief to see what you did, how we can make it better, okay? Okay, team one, how many did you do?
5.
I did not tell you to count the work in progress, but if you have
We
them.
did 6, man, 6.
6 actually.
6?
Work in progress 1.
Okay, team two,
4.
work in progress? How many are in?
3.
3. Team 3,
0.
do you have any work in progress ones? Or are they all crashed?
That was a work in progress.
We'll not do the work in progress, it's harder to analyze, but, team 4,
We got a whole lot of planes here, but not a lot of successes.
okay? And team 5,
We got 4.
nice. Okay, you have 3 minutes to debrief now. It's not gonna be 3, but I'm just gonna test my timer. So we might have 2. But debrief, see what you can do better, how you can improve, and go.
We gotta work fast. We gotta
Yeah?
Those are good.
Should we just go? Should we go?
And also, when you last time I did, we went. It's like a flag.
But when you get
I don't know why. I don't know why.
if you start
Someone
reading
takes our
it,
ones that does classic.
I'll show you.
They just
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll show you. Okay, so for this one, what about the same thing at first, right? So you do the 2 little triangles.
Alright, so we need to figure out who
And
that
then
was.
the second,
No, we're not full.
So,
You guys gotta pick up.
I feel like it's actually.
Oh, yeah, people need more papers?
Wings go out.
Why don't we do this?
We might need a little extra.
I think we might pass it to you.
If you want.
Each step.
Okay, 30 more seconds for planning.
So we have. Wait, was there any more? So it has to, should we use the professor evaluations?
I don't think those will make it
I did not hear that.
Well, they might though, because they're harder. They're like card stocks.
Yeah, I know, that's like.
This is.
Okay, you guys ready for sprint number 2?
That's the bow.
I'm gonna start the timer. 3 minutes for sprint number 2.
This floor, right?
Yeah, so
How many?
Alright, wait.
Timer started, okay.
We haven't
Timer
decided.
started, timer started.
How we do the plan.
Oh, that's true, he's right. He's right. Stop the podcast.
Start it
Okay.
over.
Start over. I got excited that I got the timer to work. Team 1, how many?
9.
Whoa, ambitious. Team 2.
That's how we roll.
Team 3, okay.
I think we're going 1 again.
Okay. Team 4. Team 5.
5.
Okay, I'll even gonna be nice and gonna restart the timer.
Oh, that's not fun.
Because I warned you.
You did, and I didn't listen.
Don't say I did.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Did you mess up? Maybe for maybe for flying as well.
So do I just focus it?
I think it's only one.
One.
That was one.
Wait, I just looked at the wrong. I like how you just do the same
Okay, you have the timer up there. And also your estimation. That works for everyone. Boom, something was working.
Progression.
Yeah.
Alright, I don't want to pull paper.
Do you have like any
Okay, this is.
Sure.
So it's
Very good.
No,
No, that was success. We have two now.
we're about to.
This is
Yeah,
number one.
I do one more.
Only one.
What is one fold?
One fold for
Three. Oh.
One fold.
No!
Not two folds.
Oh, so we have two of those, so you can only do one.
So that was two folds right there.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
This time is one fold. This is not the right.
Yeah, we got one. We got one.
You guys did that? You guys did that?
How did that? Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to watch you guys now.
Practice for the next.
1 minute left.
That's it, 10.
Don't forget your work in progress.
I got a lot of work to do.
Nope.
Oh, nice.
That's four.
That's two folds. Two folds. 1, 2, 3, 2 folds. One fold will reach 50 members. You might have to go twice around the thing, but one fold. 14 seconds left. Come on, come on. Throw your airplane, then it's not on, then it counts. So you're not at the end, but.
Oh, this one might be.
Yes, yes.
8.
Oh, done.
Yeah, we definitely was good.
Oh, it's making a sound. Okay, all right. Let's see how we did. Did that feel a little better this round? No, Liberty Mutual. Did that feel a little better? Did you feel a little bit like you know what you're doing? A bit? Just remember, nobody knows what they're doing. Unless anybody tells that. Okay, team one, how did you do? Whoa! Wait, did you guys see this?
Yeah, did you guys see that? We got that.
Wow.
Pay attention.
No, the fact is they did more or equal to what they planned on doing. Okay, team two.
One.
You hear that? They did one. Who's the counter? You have a problem here?
I thought you were the counter.
Okay, I just pointed out some definition of roles here, yes? How many did you do? 4. And estimated 1. Okay? Team 4.
13.
Okay, 13. Team 5? 9. Oh, okay. Alright, so our goal is to estimate, to do the actual more or the same as our plan, right? So, okay, we have another minute for replanning.
Okay.
need a parallel action. So we need you guys to follow. We need you guys to rev up the engine. Yeah, I think we yeah, so we did the circle, everyone was it gets really tough. There's more than four, there's more than four, I mean, so it's not just in the right.
You guys need a consultant? What's the plan? Okay. My fault, your fault, next.
Yeah, I know, that's why we cannot.
No, we're still ahead.
Oh.
Yeah, what are your goals for this one? Like 60?
72.
Set it out.
Let's do it. You guys are listening now?
We could stack that kind of.
A minute left to the rest. Wait, let's finish this one if you don't mind. Right. Alright, if you do more than you plan, then the company's gonna make more money. Do! Come on, make plans. Right? You, what did you guys stop? Alright, we're doing an emergency meeting here in the middle of the sprint.
Wait, we're in the.
No, 30
Yeah,
seconds.
we're stopping the sprint.
Oh wait, I thought we were.
There's an emergency in the company. There's some big news. Town hall. Why are team not working? Team 2, what's going on?
We're in the plan.
I know you. No, there was sprinting.
What?
Okay.
We started the timer and everything.
Yeah, but we didn't do our plan.
Alright, I found a big issue with communication and the CEO is taking the ownership. Okay. We are gonna start the sprint right now. See, that's why it's easier when it's on days too, but okay. Okay, let me reset the timer. Nobody? Okay, we are starting sprint number 3 right now. So what happened? That was in the middle of the planning? You guys were
Yeah,
planning?
well, we still haven't said how many we want to make yet either.
Oh, dude, stop. Oh, I need to fire the CEO. Oh, God.
We need a board here.
We need a board meeting, really. I'm just so excited to push ahead. Okay. Team 5, how many airplanes are you going to do in sprint 3?
12.
Wow. Okay.
Go big.
Yeah.
Team 4.
10.
10.
Yeah, 10.
Team 3.
2.
Team 2.
Okay.
8.
And team 1?
13.
Okay. Before I start, anything else that CEO has done before they retire and move on? Starting the sprint number 3 now for the 3rd time.
No.
Maximum efficiency.
Bad performance, no help.
So, yeah, we're doing the,
Holding in like.
yeah, so,
We're cutting half.
yeah, you see how I have on that side?
We're cutting your stock, so.
And then, don't forget for that, you need to make a wing. Make a left wing? No, make a left wing. So, this one? No, fold over at the side. This one, right? Yeah.
Like that?
So for this side,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
One?
Wow.
You need more half?
Sorry, that was 9.
I need to start going to the helmet.
Yeah, we do one! 2 more! Alright, 4, that's 4. How many do you have? Yeah, how many do you
Crucial element. We're missing the inside, where they do this other fold.
Oh, congratulations.
We missed the inside.
1 minute left. Go for it.
Oh, that one back. Oh, that's not one.
That was almost like rolling into a
Sorry.
Sure, that was strong enough. We would have gone over it.
Should probably get out of the danger zone.
I'll give you one.
That's one.
Yay.
Now we got
Now
that.
third one.
We're back on track. With 30 seconds to go.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. 30 seconds left.
There we go.
Wow, that was a good one. Ooh, those are good. I was just waiting to duck and everything.
Oh.
I got you. Ooh, that's a little improvement. Oh. Sure.
Yes.
Put a patch on head. Awkward. All right. All right, that's it. That was it. Airplane's down. All right. Team 5, how'd you do?
Hey, you know what?
15. Over. Team 4. They're planning already. Team 4, that's you guys.
11.
Whoa. Team 3.
2.
Did I see you guys rest? Team 2. Did you guys rest after you did your 2? Is that what happened?
Team 2 or?
Yeah, team 2.
We got
No,
5.
3. Then.
No, there was an error.
We had a product error.
Yeah, tell me more.
We missed 2 crucial folds in our plan, and that cost us a lot of time.
When did you find out about it?
About 30 seconds before the deadline.
Oh, because you waited for testing it at the end?
Yeah, well no, we were testing them, but sadly our testing department was short-staffed.
Yeah, that can happen.
We
but,
couldn't catch
you
it
know,
in time.
in agile, teams can
Yeah.
switch, right?
Interesting.
Team 2, how many? 5. Any insight from your experience? I saw some patching going on.
Yeah.
Snub noses work best.
Okay. When did you find that out?
Years ago.
In the sprint.
In sprint 2.
You flew an airplane, it didn't make it.
Yeah,
so you,
they would, if you don't snub nose them, they come back and then you have to film again.
Okay, so you came back to the assembly line and you added another feature. Okay. Team 1.
8 and 4 were on progress.
Oh, you have 4 in progress. So those were waiting. You didn't have time to test, or didn't?
We didn't have time to run them.
You're just a tester.
Okay. Team 5. Do you have any insight from your work? That, yeah.
For us was we were working on 1 at a time and 2, and then we both started one and just passed it back and forth.
So multiple feeds into the assembly line. Interesting. Now you guys know. Okay, so this is our final sprint for our release train. Okay? This is your chance to plan nice, smooth sprint. And we're gonna start with a 1-minute planning session. See, we're doing it right now. 1-minute planning session. If you can reuse the paper, please do, because okay, 1 minute planning starts now.
Okay, what do we need to do? I feel like we're doing the same thing and we're getting progressive. We did peak at sprint 2.
So everyone knows how to make sense.
What can it go? What's the problem?
So essentially everyone can start with that.
Think about it.
You guys know what you're doing?
What?
YouTube.
Well, there's no way because we now made 6. So that's simply what we
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think 6 will.
Okay, everybody do some warm-ups.
So we're only gonna 1 this is the last chance. This is our chance to prove ourselves.
Alright, if everybody's ready, let's start collecting the estimates. We'll mix it up. Team 3. Oh, team 3 is still planning. 3? Team 3 is going with 3. Team 4.
We got this.
15. Team 1.
13.
Team 5.
15.
Team 2. Okay. Do you guys know what yesterday's weather estimates are?
Yes.
Anybody? I heard a yes?
It was like 80 or it was like 80, right? 79?
No. The estimate. No. When you estimate, it's called yesterday's weather. Anyway, we'll talk about that. Not even start, but okay. Ready for sprint 4? Did we miss anything? We good to start this time? 4th time's a charm. Okay, here we go. Good luck. Go.
Good job. Can we give full 13 points? We all get internships like that. What a good deal. I don't know how to do it. All we have to do is just follow how to do it. Just think of the point. That's 4.
Okay, let me see some airplanes in the air. Yes. Good.
Yeah.
2 for us as well.
4 for the whole team.
Yeah. That's the. No.
Is this one all set? That's the one else?
7.
I don't know.
Thanks.
Don't worry.
Oh!
I got a minute, less than a minute left. Slow control watch your work in progress. Oh, 30 seconds left. Work in progress needs to go up in the air. You guys ready? We have 10 seconds left. 10 seconds. Now 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm working. It's not working. Okay, that was enough time to not make it either. All right. Okay, let's, we're getting clean up here. Okay, team 5, actually we'll start with team 1. Team 1, how did you
We
do?
got 14 and 3 of them were in progress.
Wait, out of them, 3 were in progress?
No, 3 different ones.
Oh, so 14 plus 3.
Yeah.
Any insights from the script?
So we were working as fast as each other, and we were doing was creating an airplane.
Oh,
and
we coupled.
with each other.
Oh, I saw that's very interesting. Okay, so try something new.
Cooperating alongside each other.
Nice. Team 2, how did you do?
We had 6.
6. Insights?
Coordination.
Coordination? Oh, communication works, huh?
Coordination. Yeah.
Alright. Communication is key. Sure. Team 3. 8. Oh, how did that happen?
We worked hard.
Come
Our
on.
product was shipped with 0 bugs.
Wait, 0 bugs? That means that you're not trying something
0 that we
new.
know of. 0 that we know of. 0 that we know of.
Fun. What was different here than the previous ones?
Yeah, we actually we did make the product correctly.
Oh, you read the documentation?
Yes.
Team number 4.
Yeah, we analyzed the documentation pretty well, and we got 16.
16. So your issue was documentations earlier? That's where you
Yeah.
that? Communication, documentation, okay. Teamwork. Team 5?
17.
Ooh. Insights, what did you do different? What worked for you?
We just kind of tried to do it faster that time.
A little bit faster and the same idea. One fold each person, but we kept swapping.
So again, small team. So one of the very important characteristic of an agile team is we call it two pizza team. It means that 2 pizza can feed a team. They're not students, so maybe the scale's a little different. But basically, the smaller the team is, the less complicated the communication is. If anybody took, communication 101, something about communication, there's a cloud with all the intersection between the different parties that communicate. It's exponentially, right? Because the more you add, it's getting a lot more spaghetti-wise. If there's smaller group, then communication is a lot clearer. So I think you guys have found that out too. Okay, now let's see what that game taught us about the real world.
For good use.
Do you guys want to clean up a little bit? Take a breather? You could bring a speaker.
Alright, each team can bring their airplanes and bring it to the back here. We're gonna try to recycle.
I like that. Bring your airplanes to the back.
We're gonna, bring it to this table and we're gonna
Down to a science.
Oh, wow, this is wrong. That's not
Oh, we're of course please. Okay, everybody, each one of you has to recycle for the rest of the week for all the crap that we did, okay? So to balance it out, please. All right, go back to your teams. I'm going to try and tie it to work.
Thank you. This is my contribution.
Alright, so I'm gonna try and draw the similarity between the game and agile. We did try to do it a little bit throughout the game, but let me try and add a little more. Okay, so it was important that we defined when a product is done. Definition of done is a very important principle of agile, because a developer can make something and then define it as complete and finished, but we haven't tested it, or maybe the customer did not look at it and see that that's what they wanted, right? So our definition of done was very clear. What was our definition of done?
Get it from one end of the table to the other.
That's right. Not just to make an airplane, to make an airplane that goes from here to there. Yes, definition of done, it's important. Every sprint in Agile has a planning phase in the beginning, in which you take a look at what's coming ahead and define the scope of what's coming ahead. So not only make airplanes, I'm going to make 15 airplanes that go from here to there. Okay? Because then the customer would know what to expect at the end of it. Right? It's more defined. We talked about it in the beginning when we talked about the methodologies. Continuous delivery. It means that we continue. It's not that we waited at the end of how many sprints we did? 4 sprints to deliver. We deliver throughout. Every sprint ends with some deliverable. Okay, it could be a very basic one. It could be maybe not a very good one, right? In the first sprint, airplanes quality were probably not as good. But in order to progress, we had to start somewhere, right? We built on top of it. So that's continuous delivery. Incremental improvements. We saw that, first of all, we saw the estimates has improved from sprint to sprint. We saw communication improve. We saw quality of airplane improve. We saw quantities go higher, right? So we built on top of it. If you would have done one big sprint of 12 minutes, we wouldn't be able to build on top of it, right? So incremental improvements, another agile principle. Usefulness of retrospective. So during the planning, you also did a debrief of what you did before, what didn't work before. And that's something that's very hard in general for people, I think maybe even for engineers. We always wanted to look forward to see, okay, what do we need to do? And it's important to stop and look back a little bit, analyze it, so you can take actions for the next sprint to improve it. In my team, we do a retrospective at the end of every sprint. We analyze what went well, because we want to continue doing it, and we analyze what could we have done better, and we actually add stories to our sprints, add tasks to our next sprint, that will address this. So, for example, if we did not open a ticket with UI when we needed them to inspect our work. I don't know, I'm just making things up. Will be a story for this in the next sprint. So not only we complain about how the ticket did not open, now we have a task for it. So it's actionable. That's the debriefing, or what we call an agile retrospective. Time boxing. The sprints are very important in the agile methodology, because this is the basic of all the iterations. It all sits on the sprints. And we talked about it, how some teams do shorter sprints, some teams do longer sprints. But in general, just the fact that you stop and take a look at what happened and figure out what's going to happen and build on top of that type of time boxing is the basics of Agile. Product owner is basically the little CEO of each team, of each Agile team. That's the person that defined the requirements, that okay the deliverables, and the definition of done is based on their requirement and then approvals, right? So that's a product owner. Sometimes it's the product manager, sometimes it's the executive, sometimes it's the customer. Depends on the team. Question?
Yep. So you specified how the product owner is the one who's pretty much checking the product.
Yeah.
Since the tradition, what we did as an activity as well, the traditional approach to it is to optimize the number of the quantity of the output. Is it typically the product owner's sole responsibility to ensure quality in this whole process, or is that also defined in the definition of done and other parts?
So it's definitely part of the requirements of the definition of done.
Okay.
In real life, they don't do it throughout the sprint. At the end of each sprint, that's something we call playback or demo. And during that playback, we show the product owner the progress of all the work that we did during that sprint.
Okay.
So we already tested the airplane, but maybe in the playback, we'll show them all the 15 that went well and show them go again. Right? So we show our work at the end of each sprint. Remember we talked about the customers that we're building a house and we show them incremental. So that in that demo, that playback, we show them and they say, okay, yeah, that's good. Oh, you know what? That's going in the direction that I did really. Like, I don't like that. What did they call that thing that Ben, who did Ben? Who did the fold in the airplane? He left already? Of course.
No.
Oh, you're back there. What is that called?
Bug fix?
No, when you folded the airplane back.
Snub nosing?
It's snub nose. So maybe the product owner does not like that feature, even though it flies better. If you show it to them at the end, they say, oh, you know what? That's a nice effort, but let's try next time. It just looks so ugly. I don't want it. Okay? So we want to make them involved at the end of each sprint so we can get that feedback rather than at the end.
And that's separate from, say, QA team?
It's separate than the QA team. QA team are part of the team. They're working. So maybe the product owner here was more me. When it flew and I did like this, maybe that's the more parallel to this. I like it. It made me think. Any other questions about Agile and our little Agile game? So Agile is very simple. It's very also appealing, I think, to pragmatic people, let's just say engineers, okay? Basically, it's all about making a list of all the things we need to do, sizing them up, set the priorities, and then work on them. It makes sense, right? This is very simplified, but basically what we do is make a list of all the tasks we need to do in order to achieve it, right? We discuss with the customers, make a list of all the features they want, and this is like a to-do list that we create, okay? From that to-do list, we say, oh, that's like a huge thing. This is an easy one. This one is a medium, this one is a medium. And then we talk to the product owner and say, or the customers, and they say, I want you to do this first, and then this, and then if you can make it, maybe you can do this one. All we have to do now is take them in the order of how they ordered, based on priority, and start working on them. And we know what's coming next, right? So that's every sprint, we organize our little to-do list and pull from the top. Very simple, ideally. Okay, so now this is a picture that you see every time somebody's talking about Agile. And right now it's like what is this? But this is exactly what we talked about in the last hour. So you think you don't know Agile, but now after we did this, you do know. We talk about the input from the product owner, right? So that's the definition of done. That's to make the airplane from here to there. Product backlog is all the folds that we have to do. You kind of plan, we need to do all those folds. You do this fold, this fold, this fold. Sprint planning, that's we call those ceremonies in Agile, but this is the meeting we have in the beginning of each sprint. This is the plan session we had. Sometimes we didn't, sometimes we didn't. We know that the teams have different people with different skills, but they can be interchangeable. Sprint backlog, it's all those papers that are waiting for you on the side before you get into the assembly line. And then our sprints, every time you do that sprint. I'm the Scrum Master, I screwed up many times, I apologize, but that's part of the deal, right? And then we have a daily Scrum meeting. This is something that's really the backbone of every Agile team. They meet every day to see, this is what I'm gonna do today, this is what I did yesterday, and here's where I need help. If you join the course, Professor Palmer's course in the senior year for the capstone projects, we actually use this format to run the capstone project. So the team will do a stand-up meeting, that's the daily Scrum meeting, every day to kind of like touch base. It's quick, it's take 10 to 15 minutes, and it just keeps everybody focused so you don't get stuck in something and waste time, okay? Anybody know, by the way, what it's called stand-up meeting?
Because you have to stand up in a group.
So originally, yeah, so you're actually, in the original Agile, people would actually meet for that meeting standing up. because then the meeting is a lot shorter. You stand up, you talk about what you got to do, and then you go to your little computer and do your work. I haven't seen a stand-up meeting in my life yet, but I haven't seen a meeting 15 minutes either, but some teams are really good about this. And then don't forget the lovable sprint retrospective, which is, we have the demo here too, right? Sprint review, that's the demo. That's the demo. At the end of every sprint, you do a sprint review and you do a retrospective. Retrospective, as I said, can be a little painful. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to dwell on the past, but this gives us power by knowing what we could have done better and actually make it actionable. So you guys know Agile, basically. Okay? Any questions before I move on to the next slide? Oh, that was it. Okay. You guys did all the hard work. Any questions that are not necessarily related to Agile, while I'm here, if you want to ask, I will answer.
Could you talk a little bit more about Kanban in comparison to Scrum?
Oh, that's a very good question. So Kanban and Scrum are both of them very similar. That basically Scrum is the whole name, the name of the methodology, and Kanban and Agile are top of Scrums. Okay, the main difference between Kanban and Agile is the time frame. Kanban doesn't have sprints. So basically your whole project is one big sprint. You have a huge list of all your tasks, and then you walk them through the process of in progress, finish, and then take the next one, in progress, finish. They all go through this, but there's no time limitation. So if you ever did a to-do list, basically that's Kanban, right? You have a list and you go through it. Obviously you have to, it's still refined, so you have to prioritize it, so you make sure that the next one you're taking is the one that's more important. But basically it's similar, just one big sprint and not divided. It's less structured, but when is retrospective? When is so you can make it a mix. You can make I have a sprint, my team right now have a sprint of 4 weeks. So that's relatively long, so maybe that's a mix of Kanban. Yes. Other questions? Oh yeah, I forgot. When you talk, tell me your name and which year you're at. And is everybody here computer science? Somebody not computer science? Okay. Yeah.
So, graduate first year, Aditya. So here, how can you just elaborate more on like grooming and analysis for the sprint? Like we're doing something that's absolutely new. So where would
Do you see grooming here? Did I bring up grooming? So grooming is basically the act of prioritizing the backlog. Prioritizing the backlog is very powerful because think about it. If you have a list of all the things you got to do, if you pull them randomly, then maybe you'll miss some very important thing because when time ended and then you haven't done this. So a very important role of the product owner is to make sure that the team knows what is important. And that they do that by grouping the backlog, by creating a backlog that's organized by priority. Okay, so the ones on the bottom are either not defined or not as crucial. So the team doesn't have to, let's say you finish a task, you don't have to think about what do I do next. That's the top one on the priority, that's what I do next, right? It's easy. So grooming is crucial. Was that the question? Was that the answer? Did you
kind of. So I mean, like where, like as you said, like you have a sprint for 4 weeks, right? So where would you fit in grooming and analysis?
So the grooming usually comes before the plan.
And also triaging, like when you're triaging. I mean, that also comes in, right?
I'm not sure what do you mean by triaging? Like look at so let's say it's the same
So let's
thing.
say I'm talking from perspective of bugs. Like we have a sprint that's just.
It's part of the testing.
A sprint that just went by, and we found like a whole lot of bugs, and we need to fix. So that's where I think like triaging comes into play.
Then you just create new stories, create new tasks, and the product manager will decide how crucial it is and prioritize them accordingly. But in terms of when to do the prioritization, we want to do it before the planning. right? So when you guys said I can do 11 airplanes, it's because you had the list and you said, I know what I'm gonna do and I can only do this. So you wanna order it before you can tell them I can do this. So that has to be done before every sprint, so, because if it's not organized by order, then how can you plan your sprint? You don't know which task you're gonna do, and you estimate, you don't know which one to go first. Or you will, and then it doesn't make sense. So the grooming has to happen before the planning. Hopefully throughout the sprint, they can prepare this, so when you come to the planning, it's already groomed and prioritized. In general, it's important to know what's important for you to do right now. There's so many things you always have to do. You always have to ask, what's the most important right now? I mean, yeah, it's important that I do the homework, but can I call my mom? Yes, call your mom. Important. Okay. What else? General question, not just agile, not just project management.
Does anyone have career questions?
Does the university offer like a project management course?
There is. So Professor Palmer's project is project management. I think it's mostly for mechanical engineers. There are a few CSs there, but if they don't, then tell them to hire me. I have a full-time job, but no. But seriously, I think that's something that I see it in the field. It's something that if I interview a developer that has, let's say, did internship and told me that they did agile, or I hear that when I talk about sprints and priorities, they know what I'm talking about. I think that would definitely elevate their resume to me. Yeah. So if you can, I mean, there's always millions of stuff online too, right? But if you can double into this, I would recommend. Yes. Oh wait, you didn't say his name here.
My name is Rohan. I'm a senior computer science major.
Okay. You have started to have a job lined up? Yeah.
It's so
stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm Nick, I'm a sophomore, also CS. Could you talk more about the VMware products that you manage at IBM?
Oh, sure. So VMware is a little bit unique in the infrastructure department because they're not really part of infrastructure. They sit on top. VMware is a virtual environment that you can create on top of a server set, so you can have multiple environments on one service, and they can be very, very different from each other, and they can be very secluded from each other. So it's kind of like a little cloud within a cloud, right? And we're using, in our team, we're using the VMware product, and so we're very tightly close with them. We're a partner, so if something our customer needs from them, then it goes through us, and we have a lot of collaboration between us. What else about the VMware product? We have a slew of product owners because we have different type of flavors, but that's common in a lot of different products. There are VMware that sits on different environments, and there are VMwares that have self-managed, that we can manage it for them, and there are VMwares that are customer managed, and each customer have a different flavors. We have a lot of our biggest customers are banks. You can imagine that security and all that is part of their DNA, so we work a lot with big banks across the world. What else, did that help?
Yeah, is that mostly ESXi, or is it all different?
It is ESXi, yes, yeah. We're using ESXi, and actually, some inside tea. When Broadcom bought VMware at the end of November, they've been talking about it for a long time, so we knew it's coming. But usually when a company buys a company or merges or whatever, it takes them a little bit to kind of like start, bringing their hammer down and make changes. End of November they bought them. January 1st, they already came with a whole redo of all their products. That means that if we sell their products to customers, we need to change it too. So we had to scramble really hard to catch up with them. They suddenly charge us a lot more, even for development environments. So usually when you especially big partnership with IBM, like you want us to use your product and sell it, right? Suddenly we used to have free development and test environments. Suddenly they charge us for us, and even if you charge a little bit, a company like IBM, that's a lot. I actually right now managing a project to take a look at all those that were free, you know, until last year. Suddenly we have to look at them and see who's using them and reducing them, and that's, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. So we didn't like that acquisition. What else? Yes. Oh wait, name, yeah.
Christopher, I'm a junior. And I just have a question, like, what do you guys use to measure your story points? Do you guys use, like, time, t-shirt sizes? Because I've heard that's another one.
So there are millions of ways to do that out there, and I work with different teams that did it different ways. The most basic way to measure an effort, to estimate, if somebody asks you, like, is this a big or small effort, we call it a t-shirt size. So basically there's small, medium, large. Or people can be very picky, extra small, extra large, extra large. But the idea is that you define basically, is that really big, medium, or really small, right? So that's easier to estimate the time. Time estimation is tricky because it can be very different for each person, right? Experience, just personality, speed, but also very different for teams. So if you count the same, if you say a lot of teams do 1 point is 1 day, okay? So that's just the way you measure an effort. So let's say a sprint is a week and you're gonna finish this story in a week, then it's a 5-point story, okay? But maybe other teams are counting points, for them points is a week. So if you work on a story and you finish it in a sprint, it's one point. So one team counts 5 points for the same effort, the other team counts 1 point. It can be very confusing, but that's the whole point of Agile. They celebrate the independence of the team, the uniqueness of the team. And actually that's something that we've been fighting with management. They want to have the same system for all the Agile team, but that takes away that important uniqueness for each team and independence. So we're winning for now, but we'll see. There are some cool ways to measure estimates. I can't remember exactly how, but if you Google something about agile estimation and dogs, I don't know what's gonna come out, but maybe something interesting. More questions, career-wise. Anybody had some interesting internships? What did you do internship?
I interned at Fidelity over the summer.
Oh, is that the one up in Merrimack?
Yes.
Yeah. Big company.
Mhm.
Did you learn a lot?
Yeah.
Ask a lot of questions?
Yes.
Okay, that's why you're there. Good. Hopefully they'll hire you.
Hopefully.
Okay. What else? Yes.
I'm curious how IBM changed Red Hat, if they changed much at all from Red Hat.
Interesting you said that. I used to work at Red Hat before IBM bought
Yeah, I
them.
remember the last time you came.
Oh. So Red Hat is I don't know now, but it was a really fun company. I was there when Jim Whitehurst was there. He's a very unique type of CEO. It was, when I was there, it was a relatively big company, 5,000 people. That's not like a small startup. And he was, there was kind of like the Slack, the chat application that we use for work.
Matrix?
There were some groups, like Meet, like, what is it called, the Microsoft Teams, like Teams, yeah. But Red Hat use all their software they're using is open source, so they can't use Teams. It's painful, but basically the whole idea of Red Hat is open source, right? So all the software that they're using is open source, just to prove their point. Anyway, so in our Teams application, there were some groups. So some groups are like fun stuff and fun discussions, and the CEO was involved in it. He was like, he would post stuff and, you know, respond to people. It was like, the whole idea of the company is the open source. It's also openness and visibility and flatness. It was a very fun place to work with because you can join whatever meeting and either listen in or even give ideas, and people will actually listen. It's very innovative, right? And celebrate every person in the company. IBM started 110 years ago, I can't remember, as I think their first product, anybody know what was IBM's first product? Meat cutter. I don't know how they turned out to that, but there was some mechanics things, and they ended up being in hardware and then software, and now consulting is our biggest thing. But we have about 350,000 people. That's like a little small country, right? It's hard to maintain that level of openness and coolness, and it's very sluggish. It's very slow. To make a change in IBM, it's just big. But once you get the traction, it's like we used to have an email software that only IBM used, but 350,000 users, right? It's like, it's huge. So if you go with something, you have the power to do it. If I go and say that I'm from IBM, all over the world, wherever I go, people like nod and have a story, you know, that's like, it's a name, right? It's something. My dad is a electronic engineer. When I was hired by IBM, he came to visit and wanted a picture of us with a picture of IBM logo. Because, you know, 50 years ago, that was like, whoa, you know, they're cutting edge. So, very, very different companies. Right now, IBM keeps Red Hat very separately. Red Hat is working closely with competitors of IBM, so we don't want to ruin that relationship. But in terms of, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm just going to tell you that Red Hat just moved into the same building as IBM right here in the Crosspoint. So, I mean, looking at real estate, they're saving money probably, but maybe the lines are starting to blur. I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna happen. I'm hoping that they're gonna let them do their thing because they were a very cool environment. What else?
I have a more overall question. If you've been following trends a little bit with the hiring industry for computer science, it's been quite stagnant and a lot of hiring closures, not very much hiring. Do you have any comment on that as a program manager?
No comment. No, I didn't.
Or any insight as to what's happening on the inside?
I don't have a lot of insight. I know that IBM's have been doing a lot of firing, but also a lot of hiring. So I think there's a lot of switching that's happening. Companies are identifying that they need new skills and maybe like cleaning house that way.
Okay.
I just want to ask you not to be afraid that AI is going to replace you. What's going to replace you is the people who use AI. Okay? So think about that and show your skill through that. I mean, eventually it's a trend, right? It's going to come. Just make yourself essential. Be different. Learn some skills outside the usual, a degree that you add. Take some courses that are a little out of your comfort zone, like project management. And create yourself a more holistic skill set rather than just one sliver. And good luck.
Thank you.
Any other career questions from the crowd? Anything at all? Don't be afraid to say it.
All right, I'm going to do a little retrospective. So, was that helpful? If there's an area that you think we should have touched on more, let's play more presentation, more from the field insights, real life cases. What did you guys like? What did you like? Yeah.
Did you ask what we liked or what we did not like about today's activity?
Sure. Yes.
So, my favorite part about this activity, and even in the cloud computing club, remember when we used to play a game where we had to make like paper airplanes and we had to throw them across the tables or as far as we can? I recall that we've done something like this during the spring semester this year, this club, and we also followed the same format that you presented today. And that was my favorite part of Cloud Computing Club.
So that was a different class that you had?
No, it was the same club.
Oh.
But it was a different semester.
He said he enjoyed you coming last semester.
Oh, was it last semester? Oh yeah, it was in the spring. That was me too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
just-
okay, and you're, okay, good. Yes,
And we
I'm
also
glad.
enjoyed playing with the paper airplanes at
Where
times.
the repetitiveness did not take away from the exercise? Because I thought of bringing a different subject today, but I've been told, no, do the same thing, it was fun. Yeah?
No, I think
Okay.
it's yeah.
Well, did you learn something too?
For sure, yeah,
Okay,
100%.
alright, that was the idea. Should we do shorter sprints and more talking, or tie it more to the actual agile? Should I talk more about agile ceremonies and more technical?
I think that's too boring.
Okay, done and done.
Yeah,
All right.
I think one of our main focuses is just exposing people to technology and giving them a jumping off point
Mm-hmm.
to looking further into it on their own. So what you gave today was a great speech, and I appreciate
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
Excellent.
100%. I think Kanban is very useful for like personal management as a whole. Like you could replace it with, as you mentioned, a to-do list. You could make it more optimized with priorities and having sections. And
I use the project management methodology in my day-to-day life.
Right.
Like for example, I don't know if, did I tell it here? I have twins that apply to college at the same time, right? And you guys know how nice it is to apply to college. It was our first ones too, so we didn't know much. We did a check-in, we had a Kanban board with everything they had to do, ordered by priority because the timeline and stuff like that. And every week we said, okay, you're doing those two things and moving them to the in progress. And at the end of the week, like, okay, did you do this? Yes. Oh, they finished it early, they took the next one. It was very helpful to they found it helpful. All their other friends were all stressed because all they see is this huge list. My kids only see the two things that they have to do this week, right? So everything can be managed like this. A project that you have to do, you make a list of like a paper that you have to write. You make a list of all the things you have to do. When you break it down, it's less daunting, right? A surprise party for a friend, all the things you have to do, everything you can make a Kanban of it, or if you want to break it down, then agile, right? So yeah, I always say that this is how my nature is, and I just take it to work, not the other way around. So yeah, you can imagine how my family go on vacation. Anyways, it's a different story. Okay, pizza time?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thank you.
That's great.
When did you do this? I didn't even see you yet.
So I want to ask, how is the Red Hat project working exactly? Are they moving into the exact same section in Crosspoint, or is it still
No, they have a
parts?
separate floor,
Yes.
and my card doesn't work on their card, on the other floors,
okay.
and another way around.
Okay.
Data centers, they're doing different data centers in the building, so they're still keeping it very, very separate. Yeah.
You're asking about Red Hat offices? Alright, I do have a question. When you worked at Red Hat, which office were you in?
The Westford one.
Because I'm gonna be visiting there next summer and I'm gonna be in the Boston office, so.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah, I was just gonna test your
Oh,
public
good.
transit, because that's looking like on the.
Oh, no, that sucks. Right here. Where do you live though?
Saugus, so it's